Each section rolling at 4-second intervals. They use their Rolls-Royce outdoor engines to accelerate to about 150 miles an hour before they get airborne in those 3 lots of 3. And they're going to go and get their aircraft ready to start the performance from our left-hand side in just a couple of minutes' time. Well, there are no computers in the Hawk aircraft that we fly. The only computer we have is a bolt-on GPS unit. It's very much like a car's TomTom. This is a very basic aircraft as a training aircraft. The controls are mechanical and hydraulic, and the pilots use their hands and feet to operate those controls to maintain formation position. An interesting fact about the Red Arrows is that when we fly our formations, the pilots don't look at the aircraft next to them. Every pilot in the formation has a reference position from the leader's aircraft, so they just trust that the pilot next to them, maybe only 2 meters away, is in the correct place. So over to the south now, the jets are getting together into a 9-ship formation. They're going to get the aircraft in trim, they'll get the smoke systems ready, and they'll be ready to start the display. The Red Arrows have 3 types of display we can fly, and that's depending on the weather. Our full display allows us to fly looping maneuvers. That needs a minimum cloud base of 5,500 feet. If it's lower than that, we'll fly our rolling display. That allows us to then fly our formation barrel rolls. But if the cloud base is below 2,500 feet, then we will fly our flat display, and that we can fly in various weather that is typical of the British summer. And we do have the ability to chop and change between each display as we perform. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much for the wonderful blue sky you've given us here in Payerne. So we are going to be seeing a full display this afternoon. When the jets arrive, they're going to be in a formation we call Big Battle. This will see the aircraft around 7 meters away from each other. And they'll be flying at around 400 miles an hour, so around 720 or so kilometers per hour.
On the ground, please. Sure. Thank you, Red Arrows.
What the pilots are doing now is making sure that their flying control system is in trim. So the pilots will sort their trim out on the aircraft and get ready to start that display. It's a very short visit here in Switzerland. We only arrived at around 6 o'clock last night after displaying in the UK for a charity that is Great Ormond Street Hospital near London. And before that, we took part in a flypast for the NATO summit, which is being held in Wales at the moment. So we flew past that yesterday morning, and then we displayed as a fundraiser for Great Ormond Street, and then we flew over here to join you in Payerne, ready for this display. And then after we land, our engineers will turn the aircraft, and then unfortunately we have to leave Switzerland and we will fly back to the UK ready for a display in Northern Ireland tomorrow. So unfortunately it's a very short visit for the Red Arrows, but it is an absolute pleasure to be here, and we're very grateful for the invitation to come and help you celebrate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have been a Red Arrows display pilot myself. I do know that when the pilots fly past, they will be able to see you waving. So when I tell you, please everybody get your hands in the air and give the biggest wave you can give, and the pilots will be able to see you as you run in.
Will land in about 30 seconds. Sega 16, report exact position now. 16, fire.
If you look far out to the left-hand side now, you can see the aircraft are getting ready to run in. You see them forming that big battle shape I talked about. We'll see from the left, the white smoke will come on, and then a little taste of Britain with some red, white, and blue.
And right, 60 seconds. Red Arrows, we are happy for this helicopter land, but no more movements, please.
So look out to the left, on comes the white smoke. Please can I have a big round of applause as I present the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team in their 50th display season. It's the Red Arrows. Pulling up in big battle at 4G. You'll now see the jets collapse to around 2 meters away from each other as they reach 6,000 feet above us. This shape being formed is short diamond. Leading the team is Red 1, squadron leader Jim Turner. It's his 3rd and final year as the team leader. He is a former Jaguar pilot, but he's got lots of display experience. He displayed the Jaguar. He spent 3 years previously with the Red Arrows, including leading the synchro pair. He also spent 3 years as the official advisor to the Royal Saudi Air Force's display team.
Right, now. Building the bank. Now, take in. Eagle, set, 2, 3.
The smoke comes on. Reds 2 and 3 now acknowledge the move to Eagle. That set cadence means they move back in time to form the shape of the American fighter jet, the F-15 Eagle. And they're now going to fly the Eagle Roll.
Letting it out. Roll it out. Easy. Up. Lift up. Go. And roll.
As the jets go upside down now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the pilots will see you waving. Let's give them a big wave. When the Red Arrows formed in 1964, ready for their first season in 1965, the aircraft the team used was the Folland Gnat, and that was the advanced jet trainer in the Royal Air Force in the 60s and 70s. But in 1976, this aircraft entered service with the Royal Air Force, and it's the Hawk T1. The Hawk actually celebrated another anniversary 2 weeks ago. It was the 40th anniversary of the first flight of the Hawk. Out to the front left now, the smoke's gone off for another shape. This shape looks a little like the planform of the Sukhoi Su-27, so we call it Flanker.
Holding the bank. Now. Tight. Lift. Slip up. Go.
You're about to see a very wide shape formed now. Reds 8 and 9 will move to the outside of the formation. And from Red 9's left wingtip through to Red 8's right wingtip, the formation will now measure 100 meters wide. So to enable them to fly as one unit as they maneuver around the sky, the outside pilots have to really anticipate their control inputs. So they do so by using that very set cadence in Red 1's voice. But now in from the left, this is Phoenix. So listen to that cadence in Red 1's voice.
Holding the bank. Now. Lift off. Stop.
On the leader's right wing is the first of our new pilots for 2014. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Stu is a former instructor teaching basic fast jet training, but he's also been on the front line flying the Tornado GR4. Out to the right, it's our trademark shape, ready for the diamond roll.
Rolling. Out. Easing. Up. Smooth on. Go. And roll.
Let's have another big wave, please, everybody. We fly our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side, and the even-numbered pilots fly on the right-hand side. The pilots spend 3 years with the team, and when they join, they generally start at the front near the leader. But with the more experience they gain, they move further back. On the leader's left wing now is Red 3. He's the other of our first-year pilots, and he is Flight Lieutenant Joe Hurston. Joe used to teach on the Hawk. He's also flown the Tornado GR4, but Joe has also instructed on the Royal Air Force's new advanced jet trainer, the BAE Systems Hawk T-Mark II, as the Royal Air Force calls it. Out to the left, another shape. This is very iconic. It's of the British and French supersonic airliner, and it's Concorde. Pulling up at 400 miles an hour in Concorde at 4G. As they now reach 6,000 feet above us, the shape changes again. Now the jets have slowed down to about 150 miles an hour, or around 200 kilometers per hour. You can see they formed a feathered arrow shape. As they accelerate down the other side of the hill, the G is now building up to 4G in feathered arrow.
Coming. Left. Now. Roll. Now. Take off. Go, let me go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first half of the Red Arrows display. So far, you've seen all 9 aircraft together performing close formation aerobatics, where we will now split down into sections of 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7 jets and show you some more fun maneuvering. At the front of the formation are Reds 1 to 5. We call them Enid, after the British author Enid Blyton and her books, The Famous Five. At the back are Reds 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that section is known as Jippo. Get your cameras ready. They're rolling out in that very wide Phoenix formation directly to the front. Cameras ready for the second half of the display.
Pretty good exit. Smoke on. Go. Correct. Up.
Reds 1 to 5, 8 and 9, pull up in Phoenix. Keep your eyes on the blue smoke underneath.
Right.
This is the Palm Split. With his smoke going off with the blue on the left-hand side is Red 6. He is the leader of our synchro pair, Flight Lieutenant James McMillan. He actually grew up in New Zealand, but he joined the Royal Air Force in 2002, flying the Hawk and the Harrier. On the left, he is followed by Red 8. Looking right with the smoke on is Red 7, chased down by Red 9. These 4 aircraft are now closing at 1,600 kilometers per hour, ready for the Jippo pass. The synchro pair leave their smoke on. They're turning away from us at 6G, or 6 times the force of gravity. That means everything in their bodies weighs 6 times more than normal. Pointing out towards us now, they will fly the Cyclone. As the synchro pair slingshot out to the front, you now need to look to your left to find Enid. The wings of Enid drop down to form an upside-down V shape. Look right. Smoke coming on is Red 9, who's now going to fly the Goose. Climbing steeply with a red, white and blue stripe is Red 9. He's Flight Lieutenant Mike Child, and he's a third-year pilot with the team. Mike used to display the Hawk. He was a Hawk instructor, and then operationally he flew the Typhoon, the Royal Air Force's new multi-role combat aircraft. Enid climbed steeply to our right, but looked directly ahead for the synchro pair. Pulling up at 500 miles an hour, 5G in line astern. The jets reach a height of 7,000 feet, and on comes their white smoke as they get ready to draw a heart. Keep looking to the top left of the heart. Here comes another jet to add a final touch. This is Red 8. He's Flight Lieutenant Martin Pert. Purty is another third year with the team, a Hawk instructor, Hawk display pilot, and Harrier pilots. Ladies and gentlemen, Red 6, 7, and 8 with their heart and spear. And we would like to dedicate this to all the wonderful people of Switzerland for hosting us so well over the last 2 days. Thank you very much. Looking left and right for the synchro pair, they descend to 200 feet and they're going to perform the opposition barrel roll. Now look to the front right, you'll see Enid. Pulling up in a 7-ship Vixen formation. Now twisting this loop towards us in a quarter clover. Now get your cameras ready. This is the vertical break. Left and right again now for the synchro pair. This time, Red 6 comes from the right and Red 7 from the left. They're closing at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree 6G turns. Get ready for the carousel. Now watch when they cross these 3 times. The pilots will swap their smoke color using the individual smoke color control buttons on the aircraft's control column. Now you need to look to your right, 45 degrees. in a shape called leader's benefit. Enid are going to draw the shape of a snake as they fly the Python.
Holding the bank now. 4 bank. And roll.
On the far right of that formation is Red 4. He's Flight Lieutenant Ollie Parr, and Ollie is in his second year with the Red Arrows. Ollie used to fly the Tornado GR4, and he flew over Iraq and Afghanistan, but he's also spent a tour as an instructor on the Hawk, teaching our advanced flying training. Out to the left now, you'll see the smoke come on of Jippo. Red 6 and 7 now roll upside down. 8 and 9 begin their rolls in the corkscrew. Now you need to look to your left to find Enid. The inside pilots roll to the outside. These are the rollbacks. Enid finished their rollbacks. Keep your eyes to the right-hand side to find Jippo.
Enid, smoke up, go! Jippo, smoke up, go! 6, rolling.
Once again, Red 6 and 7 now roll upside down. 8 and 9 match them underneath. This is the mirror past. Let's give the synchro pair a wave as they fly past upside down, everybody.
Second, please. Wait, 2, 3. Rolling.
Rolling out of the mirror pass. Now you need to look to your right, 45 degrees for Enid. Reds 1 to 4 form a box formation. Now the 5th jet will roll around them 12 times.
Coming right, down.
This is the twister.
Thanks. Down, tight.
With the red smoke on is Red 5. Steve Morris, who's a second-year pilot with the team. Steve used to instruct on the Hawk, but he's also flown the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4. Now look directly to the front to find Jippo.
Jippo, smoke on, go! And 9, roll, go!
Reds 8 and 9 roll around 6 and 7. Cameras ready. This is the Jippo break. With his smoke changing from blue to white on the right-hand side is Red 7. He's synchro number 2, Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson. It's Mark's second year with the team, and his background is solely on the Tornado, where he spent 3 tours. He flew over Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya, and became a qualified weapons instructor. The synchro pair now descend for their final maneuver, the double rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for the synchro pair. Now look directly ahead to find Enid for the display's finale. They're in a 7-ship Vixen formation. Get your cameras ready directly to the front. This is the Vixen break.
Tango triple trican, proceed action, prix vers l'arrière.
We are the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows.